Okay, in this video I just want to show you how to use the i18n with arguments. And first we are going to use on the controller, and then we're going to use it directly on the view. So basically we have a title here and we have a button, and this button is going to change the title. First of all, in our file I'm going to create our variable, so it's going to be custom title, and we're going to pass argument. If we use like this in here, you can see that it's going to appear like this, and we want to change it when we press. The first thing, before we start coding the button, I'm going to, on the base controller, create a function. I'm going to create this function here because it's a function that you can use in other controllers, so it makes sense to use it, to create it here. So I'm going to call it getResourceBundle. And the first thing I'm going to do in this function is to fetch the model of the i18n. So this gets owner component get model. As you can see in the manifest where we have the model declared, the name it's here, so that's why we are getting the model name i18n. And this is the type of the model. Let's copy this. And in the settings, the bundle name points to the file. So basically this is our namespace. And then we have the folder, this one. And then we have the file. I copy this type because if we go to the API reference and we paste it in the resource model, we can find that when we fetch the model, we are fetching this type of model, and this model has this function, and this function it's what we want basically. So every time we wanted to use the model, we going to call this function, and to not be always repeating these codes, we going to do this way. So get resource bundle. Okay, first part is done. The second part is now to code the button. So let's get the page ID page, if I'm not mistaken, that's the name, correct? And now we're going to set the title, and we want to use our new function. So basically you're going to fetch the resource bundle of the model, and in here that's where the magic happens. We're going to say get text, and the text is going to receive two arguments. The first one is going to be the variable that we declared in our file, so the title custom, and then we're going to pass our arguments. So let's just say potato, for example. So now when we refresh and click the button, it says custom title potato, and it's passing the argument. If we want two arguments, or three, we just would need to do this, and then we just need to pass more arguments to it. So ASD and test, and when we click the button, it changes. If you want to know more about the get resource bundle thing, you can just on the documentation search for translatable tests, and in here you're going to have more information about this. Now we are going to do the same thing but on our view, and you need to know that basically you're going to pass the arguments on a model. So that's why I'm just creating here a dummy model that I'm putting in our view, and basically I put the same arguments, and let's do it. So let's go to the main view, and in our main view we first need to import the library core. So let's define it. In the library core, we're going to use the require. And in here, we're going to basically bring the format that SAP provides. So if you search for format message, you have more information here. So this is what we want. And to define, we need to say like this and put it here. So now we are bringing the formatter. So now I'm going to fetch our variable, and I'm going to say that this is parts, and in the parts it's an array. I'm going to pass our title first, and then I'm going to pass our 3 arguments from our model. So that's why I created the model. So is 2, 3, and now we also basically this is what, because if we just save and see, it's not doing anything. So that's why what this formatter does, basically it substitutes the arguments. So formatter, and we say format message because that's what we define here. And let's not forget this. And now, as you can see, the arguments were put in the string, and that's how you do it directly on the view.